Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's tool review is going to be a tool from Huepar. They sent me this out, so I did not buy this. I'm going to mark it paid promotion, but again, they're not paying me, not doing anything like that. They just sent this to me for free, so I like to let you guys know that. And this is their 3-in-1 digital angle finder, so maybe you've got other tools that do something similar. This one's, the model number is DL905 or AG2L. I'm not sure which one they're using as the model number for that, but maybe you've got something like this that I have. This is the IQ remote. I know there's another brand I want to say that starts with a W. I can't think that a lot of people have, and I can't think of what that is. But this one, basically I use this one on my table saw. If I'm trying to find a specific angle, this is a lot easier to just throw on the side of your blade, move the blade to whatever angle you want it to. You can zero this out. Well, this does exactly the same kind of thing on a table saw, but it's got some other features included that I thought seemed like they might be kind of useful. So whenever the idea of sending this to me, I was pretty intrigued by it, and I wanted to go ahead and get my hands on it just to see what I thought about it. So as far as in the box, what you're going to get, there's not a lot to go over with that. You know, this is the box that it comes in. It's pretty compact and small. And again, I've got my lighting changed on my bench here too, because I'll show you that in a minute, because whenever I turn this on, this display just doesn't show up well with my lights on. I can still see it in person, but as far as on the camera, it doesn't pick up well. So that's why my lighting might look a little bit different in this video. But as far as the size of it, it's roughly about 3¼ inches as far as this way, 2½ inches that way, and then I think it was 1 3/8 or 1.5 inches this way. So again, size wise, you can compare that. It's definitely going to be bigger than maybe some of those versions, but if you've got one of these, there it is beside that. And it's got a lot more features on it than that. But in the box, you're going to get the box. You get a USB-C charging cable here. It comes with it. It charges USB-C. Back here on the back side, as you can see right there, it has a 650 milliamp hour lithium ion battery in it. And then it also comes with a case with a belt hook that you'd have to put your belt through. It doesn't have a clip or anything, that just velcros. You stick it down inside of that, so it's a little bit of a protection there. Or if you want to wear it on your side, I probably won't use that personally, but it is nice, you know, that they give you something with it. So as far as features wise, as far as whenever we turn this on, again, you just press that button, it comes on. You have a couple different options. Here's all the settings that you kind of have on that. So again, with my old style, this is pretty much just an angle finder. All it's going to do is find me that angle. This one has a couple different things with it. So I have the option of 90 degrees. So if I press and hold this down, you can see up here at the top, I'm only got the 90-degree option. So that means once I get to 90 degrees and then I go past 90 degrees, it's going to start counting down from 90 and go back to 0 as I flip it over. Or if I want to get the 180-degree option, I press and hold that. You can see both of those lit up now. And then as I turn it and get past 90 degrees, it's going to go ahead and go on up into the hundreds and get me to 180 whenever I completely flip over. So you have the option of kind of whichever way you need to figure out those angles, you can do that. It does also have a 0 feature. So if I'm on 18 degrees or whatever that is right there, but I want that to be my 0, I can press this button once, that S will show up. If I hold it there, now that is my 0. So if I go actually down flat, it's going to be 17, 18, whatever I was whenever I zeroed that out. And then in order to get back to the calibration of actual 0, you just press it again, get rid of that S, and now I'm back at 0. So it has an auto or a self-finding 0 where it's calibrated to itself. And then also if you stick it on top of your table saw or something like that, you need to zero it based upon, because you're on some kind of elevation. You can still do that. Has different units on it. So again, whereas my other one only has angle, this one I have the degrees, the same as what that one has. I can press this unit button here, get into percentage, which is not really a whole lot awful different. And then also you can get into millimeters per meter. So right now I'm at 100 and, you know, whatever, 110, I can't hardly hold it straight, but say 110 millimeters per meter, or I can go to that inch per foot. So basically you have metric slope, and then you also have inch per foot as far as for slope. So if you wanted to try to figure out if you're building a ramp of some kind and you want to put this on a straight edge or do whatever, you can get that slope figured out. And then where that will actually come in more handy is, and here's probably the main difference on this one, is that you can see laser 1 and 2. I can press that button. I have a laser over here, and then I can press that button again, I have a laser up at the top. I can press the button again, and now I've got a laser in both directions. So you can see here on my wall, I've got that in there. So if you're gonna hang a picture or something like that and you wanna put it on 0, know where your level is, it shoots a line all the way over to one wall, all the way up to the ceiling. So you can use that in that way. So to me, again, this is the biggest feature difference of this versus an angle finder. Because again, if I'm going to figure out my inch per foot, you know, a slope or whatever it might be, I can kind of get that set somewhere and then shoot a laser and make a mark farther away from wherever the end of my ramp is going to be or whatever it is, and I can use it for that. So that's where that really comes in handy. But of course, another place that you could use it is on a table saw. Many of you might even have a tool that already does something like that. This one, there's a couple benefits to this one over the Huepar, but of course this one doesn't have the lasers. It doesn't have the ability to go to inches to feet. So that one's got a lot more features that may allow you to do other things if you want to use it somewhere besides a table saw. But with this one here, in the daylight, I can read these numbers a little bit easier than that of the Huepar. As you can see here, out in broad daylight, very hard to see that digital display on the Huepar. But if you're in the shop lighting, in a garage or something like this, very easy to read, not a problem. So if you're going to use it indoors, I don't think it's going to be an issue whatsoever. So you can see here, I'm on 30 degrees on my saw. That's where I've got that blade set. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. And where one like this AccuRemote has a little bit of an advantage on this certain situation over the Huepar is the fact that I have magnets all the way around this entire thing. So if I wanted to zero this out, again, I'm on 30 degrees. If I was to put it on the bottom magnet, it's going to show 60 degrees. So then I have to do some math. I have to do 90 minus 60 equals 30. This is an actual 30-degree cut. But with the magnets being on this side as well, I can also put it here, and then that gives me that 30-degree measurement where I'm at. No math needed. I can basically swap that around and get it to whatever angle that I want it, or whichever position I need it to be to get me the actual angle that I'm cutting. I can do the same thing with the Huepar. I can zero it out by pressing that button, allowing it to zero. You can see I'm at 0 here. I can put it on the magnet on the bottom. I'm at that 60 degrees. I've got to do some math if I'm going to adjust it while I've got that magnet on there. 90 minus 60, I'm cutting at 30 degrees. Or I can take and push it against the side, but I'm going to have to hold it because there's no magnet to hold it to my blade. That's where I'm going to get that 30 degrees. I'm not going to have to do any math, so that's not that big of a deal. Basically, you just have to hold the Huepar onto the blade as you adjust it if you need to get to some specific angle, like, 31 point something degrees or whatever it might be. So a little bit of advantage on the table saw to get a style that has magnets all the way around. But again, it doesn't do some of the things like the laser and the inches to feet and the slope and all those things that this Huepar does. So hanging pictures, table saw, those things are some of the places where you could use something like this. Another place is because it has this feature as well, it also has a magnetic groove here that is a channel to fit with pipe. So if you're going to bend EMT, or if you're doing pipe on a slope or something like that and it's metal, or even doesn't have to be metal, that at least kind of gives you that groove to set it into place on some PVC or whatever it is. But you could easily put this on EMT, bend something to 45 degrees if that's what you're doing, and you've got that digital display going. So there is a magnet inside of this channel as far as to grab a hold of stuff. It seems to be fairly strong. I could probably spin that around a little bit and it's still not coming off, but I mean, if you just really slung it, it probably would. But it also has a magnet back here on the back side. You can see that magnet there, magnetic, so that's going to allow you to line this up on something to shoot your lasers. That's not a strong enough magnet to stick it on the wall and find yourself drywall screw or a nail and it's going to stick to your wall, so that's not going to work for that. And plus, the odds of, other than using that vertical laser to know where your stud is the whole way up, the odds of that being where you would actually need to locate it to square off a picture frame or something, slim to none anyways. But that's probably good so that you could, if you've got a metal door or something like that inside your room, or a metal door frame, you could use that backside in order to do that, or even, to me, just to store it in your truck or something, or your van. That's just nice to have that, just because you can throw it up on something on the side of your table saw, maybe for storage, whatever it is. That's probably a nice feature. And then again, the last thing that I want to make mention of is I've got a video where I show how to get the most bang for your buck for a digital level. It's a digital level hack. You know, they sell, I've got a 48 inch, I've also got a 24 inch digital Stabilo level. They're really expensive, over $300. But if you have something like that, this is basically what this is. It's a digital angle finder. It's the same as a digital level. If you can figure out some way to strap it either to your existing level or even just hold it in place while you're doing that, and you're raising and lowering your level, you're going to be able to get a digital readout instead of just going by your bubble. So you can obviously use it for that. Or if you've got a metal straight edge of some kind, you know, you can just stick that right on there and the magnet's going to work. So if you've got something that's metal, that's straight, it doesn't even have to be a level. You could stick it on there, get yourself a digital level by using this. So that's a really good option, because it also has, if you can see here, a sound mode. If I press and hold that, you're going to see the little icon come up there for sound. And what that does is, as I get towards 0, I will start to get a beep. And then it beeps faster as I get close. It's really hard for me to get it on 0 holding it by my hand. And then it's a solid tone whenever you actually get on 0. Let's see if I can get there. So yeah, guys, that is the Huepar 3-in-1 digital angle finder. Again, it's the AG2L DL905. Gonna run you about $45 on Amazon. If you're 100% only needing something for your table saw, it's probably a bigger advantage to have magnets all the way around, so you don't have to do all the math on the angles. But if you're ever going to be hanging pictures and you want a vertical line straight up from your level, or horizontal line, whatever it might be, if you're going to use it on some conduit or anything around PVC, whatever it is, and if you ever need slopes, whether it's inches per foot, meters per foot, and all those things, this might be the better bang for your buck. It's got a lot more options, a lot more capability anyways. It just depends on whether or not you need those features and how often you need them, whether it's the right fit for you. But let me know in the comments below if any of you have tried this out, or any of the other products from Huepar. This is the first product of theirs I've ever had. I've not had any of their lasers, but they have been highly recommended. But let me know in the comments below what you think about it. If it's something that would be useful to you, let me know that as well. But as always, I hope this video was useful, helpful. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. See you on the next video.